In the first verses of Luke chapter 11, Jesus teaches his disciples the Lord's Prayer. He continues teaching in verses 5 through 10. Then he said, "Imagine what would happen if you went to a friend in the middle of the night and said, 'Friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread. An old friend traveling through just showed up, and I don't have a thing on hand.' The friend answers from his bed, 'Don't bother me. The door's locked, my children are all down for the night. I can't get up to give you anything.' But let me tell you, even if he won't get up because he's a friend, if you stand your ground, knocking and waking all the neighbors, he'll finally get up and get you whatever you need. Here's what I'm saying. Ask and you'll get. Seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will open." Thus ends the scripture reading. The saying, "Ask and you'll get, seek and you'll find, knock and the door will open," captures an essential element of religion. We gather to seek God and the meaning of life. Jesus assures us that if we seek meaning or guidance, we'll find it. I will testify right here and right now that the saying accurately reflects my life's experience. What the saying and assurance don't include, of course, is whether I have heard the response or whether I will recognize it as a response to what I was seeking or thought I was seeking. I propose a corollary to the saying. It begins with Gracie Allen's words, "Never place a period where God has placed a comma." That is, God is still speaking. If this is true, our most faithful response can only be to listen for what God is saying in a way we can hear it and then act on it. This text is not a lectionary text for today. Since I'm the new one here, I selected a text that will tell you a little bit more about me. Now, the sermon isn't about me. It's about us and our relationship to God, but there may be some personal disclosure. You remember Shirley Sherrod, right? She's the federal agriculture official from Georgia who lost her job after a conservative blog circulated a selective, misleading quote from a speech she gave to the Urban League. She said that as a teenager she had a life plan to get off the farm. She'd had enough of cotton, cucumbers, and peanuts, go to college in the north, find a husband, and have a good life away from Georgia. Then her father was murdered by white men in the county. There were witnesses, but no arrest. The night he was killed, she prayed, asking God to show her what she should do. She didn't get the answer she wanted. What she heard was that she should stay home and work with the people she grew up with, the farmers of Georgia. Well, she did that, ending up as a federal official working with those very farmers. She asked, she received. She said that when she made that commitment to stay in Georgia and in agriculture, she was making that commitment to black people and to black people only. Now, this is the part that got her in trouble when selectively edited, of course. The first time she was faced with a white farmer trying to save his farm, she struggled with just how much help to give him. So many black people had lost their farmland, and here she was having to help a white man save his land. She tried to not give him the full force of what she could do. But working with him made her see that the real issue was about those who have and those who don't. She needed to work to help poor people. Sherrod asked, heard the still speaking God, and she acted. I have been on 2 delegations to Guatemala in 2009 and 2010. By definition, a delegation constitutes a seeking. It's hard to generalize about what we, the members of the delegation, brought to the delegation and how we articulated our questions or our search. But I can reliably generalize about the answers we received, no matter how we stated what we were seeking. We met with many groups of Mayans, the indigenous people of Guatemala. At the end of each meeting, we asked what we could do for them. Their answers were consistent in two ways. First, they said, "You have already accomplished something for us just by being here. We are safer because you have come. Your mere presence makes oppressors hesitant to attack us." Second, they said, "When you go home, tell our story. Tell people that the Maya still exist, notwithstanding 500 years of oppression. Don't assign us to your history books as an extinct people. Understand that I made a commitment to the people I met, and that telling this story here today is a partial fulfillment of that commitment."